Inside EKU Sports, brought to you by Jimmy John's. Order Jimmy John's sandwich delivery today. Jimmy John's, freaky fast, freaky fresh. Welcome to Inside EKU Sports, a production of EKU Athletics, and we begin with women's basketball. Chrissy Roberts is the head coach of the Colonels, and you're 4-2 in OVC play, currently tied with Murray State for third. And we didn't have a show last week, so let's go back to an exciting game against your former head coach, now the coach at Tennessee State, in Larry Joe Inman. You won that game, and Jalen O'Bannon had a double-double, equaling her career high in rebounding.
Jalen played well, but I think Lex had like 22 points and knocked down some big time shots for us. But I felt like it was a pretty good team effort overall. You had won 4 out of 5 games at that point, and then you went to Moorhead. And I know you have ups and downs in a basketball season, and you were not a happy coach with the way your team played at Moorhead last Saturday. You do have ups and downs, but you can always compete and go hard. Sometimes the ball doesn't always bounce your way, but I talk to our players all the time about how we play the game, and we need to start playing it consistently. The consistency, is that through effort more than anything? It is. Mm-hmm. Either you want to or you don't. You gotta hate losing more than you like winning, and if you feel that way, then you'll give the team, the game, everything you have. What's the lesson in practice that you can tweak from the games you've played so far to be a better basketball team? Where's the weak spot that you have to fix? Just pushing each other every day and not trying to find ways to take breaks. I think we do that a lot. Instead of going hard every possession, standing every possession, whether it's in the half quarter in transition, we have to get better at that. That's the only way we're going to get better. You mentioned Cooper leading you in scoring against TSU, and I get the sense in talking to you that you're going to want to lean on her to lead this team as we go into the second half of the OVC. Most definitely. I mean, she's pretty consistent as far as her effort and how hard she goes. I'm going to lean on her more. We still need to get her stronger defensively at times, but there's no doubt, where her heart is and where she is with this team and what she wants this team to accomplish. The good news is, unlike football, you get to turn around and play pretty quick, and you've got a game on Wednesday at home against Jacksonville State. We do, and I'll tell you what, don't be fooled by this team's record. I'm watching them on film this weekend, and they're extremely talented, have a lot of pieces, play extremely hard. It's going to be another tough battle for us. All right, good luck. I know after that down to Cookeville, so another busy week. We're rolling through the OVC. Non-stop. All right, keep it up, Coach. Thank you. Chrissy Roberts, the head coach of the EKU women's basketball team. Again, hope to see you out at Alumni Coliseum on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. If you can't make it for the Gamecocks and the Colonels, the broadcast will be at 13:40 a.m., of course, at EKUsports.com on the World Wide Web, and also on OVC Digital. And then the women's basketball team travels to Cookeville, Tennessee for a 6:30 tip on Saturday. And Colonel fans, please go ahead and mark your calendar for the EKU Football National Signing Day special. We're going to air that on the OVC Digital Network from 8 a.m. to noon Wednesday, February 1st. EKU will announce its 2017 football signing class live. I'll be joined by Coach Mark Elder and his assistant coaches as we break down each signee. It will be your chance to see highlights, stats, and notes on each of the incoming players, so join us live beginning at 8 a.m. Early wake-up call on February 1st. And all coaches want guys that turn out to be like Dale Patton did. That is, in the EKU Athletics Hall of Fame. My conversation with the Tank, Dale Patton, when we come back on Inside EKU Sports.
You don't put lighter fluid on a guy's grill, do you? He's about to set himself on fire.
Whoa.
Pretty fast.
Bam.
Have mercy.
Every day is a concept that few people can commit to. Every day requires a level of dedication that forces you to test your limits.
Every day I'll give back to the community because I draw strength from their support. Every day the sounds of your cheers will echo through my mind. Knowing that you have my back means I can always look forward.
Every day I'll be too tired to sweat and my bones will ache. Every day will provide me with the slight edge that I need to succeed. Champions are built every day.
Dale Patton was a fullback at EKU from 1977 to 1980. He wore number 35, and boy, could he block or run the football, and he joins the EKU Athletics Hall of Fame this year. Congratulations, Dale. And
thank you.
If I described you as I would describe you as a tank. How would you describe yourself running the football? Because that's back when the eye was popular.
Right. Well, I was pretty physical, and I like to say that Eastern had a nice system, and I was able to fit in the system and able to do some of the things that I was good at doing. I was good at running, but when I came to Eastern, they wanted me to really block, so I had to learn to block, and that helped out. So I enjoyed it. Some of the players and some of the coaches or whatever, they kind of helped mesh us together, and it worked out real well.
They wanted you to block, but in the national championship game against Lehigh down then the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, you ran for 121 yards in that blowout win, our first national championship game.
Right. Well, like I said, that was something that I did. That was something that I enjoyed. I enjoyed running the ball, but blocking, like I said, I learned to enjoy that too. Like I said, I became real physical in the EKU system of doing things. We had we started off with option, and then we kind of added the pass. So, we was very versatile, very versatile.
You went on after Eastern to a career in juvenile justice before retiring. What did being a student at EKU and a football player, how did it set a foundation for your career after your life after football?
Okay, well, first off, just playing at Eastern, you had to balance a lot of things or whatever. You was a student athlete, and working with Kid, he was very demanding on your time. So, it really helped, throughout life. It helped me with my work ethic and everything. I ended up getting a degree in criminal justice, juvenile justice, and I had a double major and also in psychology. So that helped me out. I worked for juvenile corrections in Cincinnati, working with some of the troubled youth up there, trying to get them to turn their lives around. And a lot of them paid heed to what I told them. So, I'm very gracious of that and was able to retire. So, I'm doing pretty good right now, just working part-time at different things right now. It's
been 36 years since your last game in a locker room, but I bet you still remember at least some of the words to the victory song, Cabin on the Hill.
It's funny you say that because I went to a teammate's funeral, another inductee into the Hall of Fame, Bill Hughes, about a year ago, and we all sung Cabin on the Hill, at his funeral, so that was real nice.
Not a dry eye there, I bet.
No, it wasn't.
Dale, congratulations. Welcome to the EKU Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
Dale Patton, war number 35, now in the newest class of the EKU Athletics Hall of Fame.
Coming to the lunch meeting, Ned?
Forgot the reports in the car. Oh, Kevin's lunch. That's the 5th time this week. Bring it fast.
I forgot my lunch again.
Jimmy John's.
10 seconds to go. Harper coming forward. Moves in top of the key. 6 seconds to go. The three.
The AFC Championship game gave 2 Colonels a chance to play in the Super Bowl. Jordan Berry, the punter, of course, for the Steelers, and Matt Lingle playing tight end and on special teams for the Patriots. And with the Patriots win, Matt will be playing in the big game on February 5th down in Houston. So look for number 82 for the Patriots, Matt Lingle, and the Colonel family wishes him well. Back here closer to home, some student athletes have been giving back to the community. Last week, the baseball team partnered with Samaritan's Feet to provide shoes for more than 150 Madison County children during the team's Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service. And earlier this month, the men's basketball team volunteered at Home Meals Delivery, operated out of the Baptist Campus Ministry on EKU's campus. Players prepared and delivered meals across town. And joining us now is the head basketball coach of Eastern Kentucky, Dan McHale. And Dan, there are other parts of being a student athlete that are very important and teach lessons. That's one of them.
Absolutely. You know, we're going through tough times on the court and some growing pains, but our guys have to realize the real message is what really people are really struggling with, and that's sometimes not having a hot meal, that's sometimes not having, you know, shoes on your feet like you talked about with the baseball team. And I wanted my guys to understand the importance of it, and they do. You know, they're great kids and they want to give back to the community. And sometimes when you're going through some what you think is tough times, you have to take a step back and really appreciate how good you have it.
I know in no way have you given up on this season. You're 2 games out of that spot where you can get into the OVC tournament. 2 teams are 2 games ahead of you. But I said on the broadcast Saturday, this is a team that's lost a couple of players to injuries, other reasons, and you guys are, the team's playing hard. You're giving it your all. It's just, you know, not as much oomph in the machine as you would hope, and I know that's coming.
Yeah, no, I'm far from giving up. And I still think and believe in this team and know we have a run coming, but I have to be realistic. You know, I've got to really analyze why are we running out of gas in the second half, and a lot of it is guys are playing major minutes that I didn't anticipate playing this much. But, you know, I still look for the silver lining and everything. These young guys that are playing these pressure situations, that is going to help. I know that. I know it's going to help down the road. But for the short term, we got to figure out how to string a couple wins together and really, you know, be able to turn this thing on.
You talk about down the stretch, the first game of the doubleheader on the road, and you'll go another doubleheader again this week at Murray State. You guys made a great comeback, had it right there, went ahead just briefly in the game, and fought to the very end.
I mean, tremendous college basketball atmosphere. You know, Murray does it. I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, 6,000 people on top of you, a great student section, and our guys fought, and that's why I was proud of them. And they're not hanging their heads, but it's a turnover here that leads to a bucket for them on the other side, and we go from you know, down 1, up 1 to next thing you know you're down 7 and you can't catch up. But we fight. You know, we understand what we're all about. We just have to really clean up certain levels of our game so we can still squeeze one out at the end.
Impressive double-double in that game by Zach Charles. He's really brought it the last few games.
Zach's is the epitome of who you want to coach. I mean, you know, I don't run too many plays for him, and he still goes out and manufactures some points. You know, he's a great offensive rebounder, and he adds so much value to our team, and he's just a special kid that's just getting better.
Asante Gist showed us something. I know he continues to mature as a point guard, and I saw something in that Murray State game that it gives you the hope for the future as well.
No, absolutely. He's getting it. He really is, and he works at it, and he understands his shortcomings. He understands his strengths, and he's getting more and more mature, and again, all this experience for him is only going to make him better and the team better.
And finally, off you go to Jacksonville, Alabama, and Cookeville, Tennessee for 2 more on the road. OVC East games would be lovely to steal 2, if not 1.
Absolutely. You know, we're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep working in practice, and these guys are upbeat and positive. Understand that, you know, we're not far from breaking through.
All right, I appreciate it, Dan, very much.
Appreciate it.
We speak of those road trips. The Colonels have that week on the road. They'll take on Jacksonville State Thursday. We'll have the coverage at 8 o'clock, an 8 o'clock tip-off Eastern Time. Saturday, they have the nightcap of a doubleheader with the women's team in Cookeville against Tennessee Tech's Golden Eagles. The men's game starts at 8:30. You can catch our broadcast on WCYO 100.7 FM, of course, worldwide on the web, and also OVC Digital will have the game as well. And, of course, as always, you can keep up on all EKU sports news all season long at EKUsports.com, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks for joining us on another edition of Inside EKU Sports. We'll be right back at it again next week. Inside EKU Sports, brought to you by Jimmy John's. Order Jimmy John's sandwich delivery today. Jimmy John's, freaky fast, freaky fresh.